Hi everyone, and welcome to Two-Player Quest, where I help you on your quest to find the best two-player board games for you. In today's video, I have Elder Sign by Fantasy Flight Games. In Elder Sign, you play as a group of investigators in this Lovecraftian world. It is up to you to prevent the Ancient One from awakening, but if they do, it's also up to you to defeat them. You roll dice to complete missions to win the game. But how many investigators make this a good game, and how does it work? Well, let's investigate. Elder Sign is a game for 1 to 8 players that plays in about 90 minutes according to the box. Now, our sessions have lasted from about 30 to 60 minutes, but that's mainly because we are playing with a smaller group and we play quite quickly in general. So if you're playing with, for example, these 8 people, I can imagine it would last you about 90 minutes. It's at a 2.35 on BoardGameGeek for complexity, so it's a relatively easy game to play, and I say it is a very high luck game. It is all about dice rolls. There's not much strategy involved, just a tiny bit, but if you're not rolling the right dice continuously, you are not winning this game. This is what the board can look like at the start of a 2-player game. And at the bottom here we have one of our characters with their starting items, their sanity and their stamina. We have the sort of entrance board that shows you what you can do at the entrance while you're there. Then we have the otherworldly encounters, we have the dice, we have our characters' tokens, normal encounters, the 6 open encounters. We have Yog-Sothoth as our Ancient One this turn, the time track, as well as the different items you can draw. There we have the Mythos cards, the other player at the back, and the extra cards for extra characters and extra Ancient Ones. And a lot of tokens at the top there that we will not be needing anymore. On this side we also have tokens, the Elder Sign tokens, the clue tokens, and the tokens that go onto the Ancient One's board. When you are the active player, you can move your player token onto one of the adventures. You can move it from wherever it is to wherever you want to go. Now, on these adventures, you will see certain things that need to be done. So, for example, for this adventure, if I were to go here, I would have to roll in one go, roll 2 loop and a skull, and in another go, I'd have to roll 2 skulls. So I would take the dice. In this case, you always have the green dice, and you can use items, unique or uncommons, to add certain dice. So I could use this item to add a yellow dice. In this case, I choose to roll only the green ones. I roll the dice, and as you can see, as I move all the things into view, as you can see, I have 1 skull, but I don't have the 2 loop, neither do I have a second skull. So in this case, this would be a failed roll. Now, when you fail a roll, you can either choose to use a clue token to re-roll as many dice as you want, but considering I don't have any clue tokens, I'm also allowed to focus. So when you focus, you place one of the dice onto one of the player tokens that is on that area. Then you place away one of these dice to the side. You cannot use that anymore for this adventure. Then you roll again. In this case, we have a 3 loop, and we can use this question mark to continue to fulfill this requirement. Then we roll again. And in this case, as you can see, again, we didn't fulfill, so we could keep one of these, but there's no use. One would go to the side because we failed, and now we basically hope for 2 skulls. As we didn't roll the 2 skulls, we have failed this task, and we gain this negative. So in this case, we would lose 1 stamina. If you were to succeed, you would gain these positives. While this is in play, at midnight something happens, and sometimes, for the ones you have at the top there are certain terror effects that take place when you roll a terror. In this case, you would resolve to fail this adventure. You have failed this task, so you stay there. Then the clock moves forward 1, and it is the next player's turn. Now you draw Mythos cards at the start of the game and then at every midnight, and you move the clock at the end of every turn. So if in a 2-player game, that means it's always the same person drawing the Mythos card. If I had succeeded this task, I would gain it, and this is worth 2 trophies, and I would draw another adventure. So there's always 6 open normal adventures. And I would have gained what it states here at the bottom, which is a monster would appear. I would gain 1 unique, 1 common, and an elder sign. Now, to win the game, you need elder signs equal to the number shown on your ancient one. In this case, that would be 12. So once you have 12 elder signs, you would win the game. You also might need to fight the ancient one. Read how that works in the books, but that is basically a quick overview of how this game works. It's now the next player's turn. They do the same. They choose an adventure, and you roll for it. As long as you have one player who knows the rules when it comes to edge cases or things that don't happen very often, then you can get going quite quickly. I would say maybe about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the experience of your players. If you're looking for a relatively small, compact, really engaging dice game, then this could be a good fit for you. Even when it's not your turn, you're really busy with what the game is. You're busy with helping the other player make decisions. You're busy with, oh, come on, roll that dice. And it is just so engaging. And I say smaller because it doesn't take up much room in the box, or it doesn't take up that much room on the table, so that's great. Now, one thing does need to be said about this game is there is definitely the chance that you will be losing this game. So that is something that you need to keep in mind if that's not something that you like. We really like this game. We first played this game on Saturday, and we've played it at least 4 times now as of filming this on Tuesday morning. So in general, we really quite like the game. We liked how compact it is. So as I said before, we're trying to basically move it around. For us, it's a great holiday game. When you have not a big table on holidays, but you just have a sort of smaller table, then this would still fit, and it's a great sort of way to kill time but keep yourself busy in a really engaging way. Now, we are looking forward to trying this with people who are less experienced with board games, because the people we've played with it thus far have been quite experienced, but I think it would be doable with people who are less experienced. So in general, this is still a borrowed copy, but if we can't keep this in our cupboard for a relatively long amount of time, then we are looking into buying it ourselves. Now, thus far, we have only played this with 2 and 3 players, and I do look forward to playing it with more, but I'm unsure whether I would like to play it with more than, say, 6. Because you do something in your turn, and a turn takes about 2 to 3 minutes on average, if you're playing it with 6 or 8 people, that means that you're doing something every 16 to 24 minutes? And that seems like a long time in between turns. So I wouldn't mind trying it, I suppose, but it sort of feels like you're doing less when you play with more players. And when you play with less, you do more because you have more actions. Now, it is still engaging while you are playing with more players, but it is nice to actually roll the dice yourself. It does give a certain experience of the game. When it comes to scaling, something happens every 4 turns. So whether that be 2 turns for 2 players or 1 turn each for 4 players, something happens every 4 turns. So when it comes to scaling, that just stays the same. So no matter how many players you play with, it always happens at the same pace, basically. So scaling wise, I say this works very well. I would say it is a great 2-player game. I would definitely feel comfortable to playing this up to 4, probably even 6, but even more than 6, I would be a bit hesitant just due to the amount of time it would take, and basically whether it'd be engaging enough to wait 20 minutes between turns. And that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching our review of Elder Sign. If you want to see another one of my reviews, you can click up here. If you have any comments, feedback or suggestions, they can go down below, of course, and I look forward to seeing you next time on 2 Player Quest.